Like Victoria, I hate to get up here and just, hand out a lot of thank yous, but I really feel obliged that I must do so. So first and foremost, I would like to thank the Evans County Chamber of Commerce for hosting this and sponsoring this event. It really is just an amazing event, and it's so good that something like this has been started in our community. I would like to thank my parents for putting me in Pinewood and in such a nurturing environment and sacrificing so much so that I can go to that school. People kind of, toss things out about Pinewood. Sometimes people seem to think we have lower academic standards, which is ridiculous, obviously, if you see the success of all of the students from Pinewood. I would like to thank my peers, my friends, for just giving me so much support in all of my endeavors. They've just been amazing in letting me just do whatever I want to do. All my other teachers, besides Miss Todd, have been amazing. Everybody, all the teachers at Pinewood are just so friendly, and it's really personal, and it's been an amazing experience for the past 13 years. Linda Conway once said that it is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. And I find that an extremely appropriate quote for a teacher like Miss Todd, especially with all of her similes with her AP classes as trees that she's fostering. She does so much with her students beyond just chemistry, which is what she teaches. She helps standardize tests. She's almost like a graduation coach for us, which is what she told us once that she would be her ideal job. She, just everything she does is just so wholeheartedly. She wants you to succeed in everything. She doesn't, obviously, I'm not even going into the field that she taught me, and she still supported me 100% no matter what. So it is my honor to introduce the star teacher from Pinewood, Miss Susan Todd.
You'll get it in a minute. I'll follow up with thanks to the Chamber for this wonderful luncheon. It is always an honor to come and eat in a room full of some of my educators. Miss Janet Strickland, I spoke to her as I came in, and she is definitely, I can remember sitting in Miss Janet's classroom as a high school student, and her challenging me way more than I wanted to be challenged at the time. I'd like for her to know that I have taken what you did with me, and I now offer that to my students. So let it never be said that the influence that you have in a classroom is not far-reaching into many, many generations, and I won't make you cry, Ms. Janet. I'd like to thank Cecile for selecting me as the star teacher. When you come from a group of educators that are as good as the ones I'm surrounded with, it is truly humbling to be singled out as having a particular influence on a student. We are a family at Pinewood, and the old adage goes, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a family of educators to educate a child too. And I think that's what we are at Pinewood, and it's unique, and I am so thankful that God has brought me there. I'd like to thank the Board of Governors at Pinewood. They sort of fund my fund. They offer, pretty much anything that I need to teach with. They have made a way for me to have that, and that's very, very important in education today. I couldn't make chemistry and physics what it is to my students if it were not for having the supplies that they so graciously allowed me to buy. Mr. Welch, I'd like to thank him. He's a little high-strung like I am, and I appreciate his tolerance of me. My class, he sort of has a saying sometimes in faculty meetings, especially when it's getting close to spring break, that he wants the fannies in the chair. Well, there are a lot of days you walk by my room and my fannies are not in the chair because we're doing something. We're up, we're working, we're at it, we're learning it in some really unusual and strange way. So I appreciate his tolerance when he walks by my door and it's not quiet and they're not seated, and sometimes he looks in and we're not even there. For smelling up the halls, and for blowing up the pumpkins in the gym, and for marching down the hall in the rainbow glasses, and for playing the kazoos in the hall that we made out of drinking straws. I don't apologize for any of that. That's how chemistry and physics should be taught, with hands-on activities and engagement. I'm blessed, though, that he does trust me to deliver that kind of instruction in what may appear a real unorthodox way, but it's really entertaining. So that helps. Thanks, Clint. I recently read a small book. My pastor had used this book as an illustration in a sermon, and the book is called Lessons from a Venetian Vine Dresser. It's actually a book that's supposed to illustrate how our relationship with Christ is like that of the relationship between the grapevines and the vine dresser, the individual who tends the vineyard. Within the book, the author recounts a story of a drought that struck the vineyard. Some of the vine dressers took to watering their vines due to the drought, and they would water them daily, but not the older vine dresser who was the host for the author of the book. When the author asked why he did not water his grapevines, the vine dresser replied that allowing the plants to suffer in the drought caused them to grow deeper and stronger root systems. And this meant more nutrients would be drawn into the vine, and that would eventually produce larger and sweeter fruit at harvest time. So what I've come to realize as I've gone deeper into my teaching career at year 21 here, that I am a lot like that vine dresser, and my students are my vines. Sometimes I allow them to struggle in order to encourage their growth. Sometimes I help them to trim away the distractions. I help them to kill their weeds. Those are the weeds that choke out their ability to grow and expand and to become what God has laid out for them to be. Sometimes I set a fire, and that goes through the vineyard, and even though it's a controlled burn, it does leave a lot of edges sort of charred. But I do all this out of the love for the plant. And I want that fruit that they have at harvest time to be the sweetest fruit that they have ever had. Cecile, I hope with all my heart that I have made your food just a little bit sweeter. I'm a really, really proud vine dresser today. Thank you.